Hey guys, how you doing? I hope everything is well. Everything is good with me. Y'all, I want to come and talk about the death of Sonia Massey. It is really sad. I just had to do this. This is just it's this the story is really sad. This racist cop is crazy, like for real, and he's not getting out of jail. This cop is crazy as hell. I want to read y'all the story. When I seen the story, I just was like, oh my God, that's like my worst damn nightmare. Anybody's worst nightmare, because she called the police to help her and everything just flipped around on her. Like, this is terrible. Okay, it's in Illinois. Illinois deputy charged with murder after fatally shooting Sonia Massey inside her home. According to court documents, Sean Grayson instructed his deputy partner not to retrieve a medical kit from his vehicle because of the severity of Sonia's massive injuries. Now, he came to the. Let me read it to y'all, because this just got me tight. Like, y'all heard what that just said, right? He stopped his partner after he shot Sonia. His partner flipped out. He was just like, oh my God. He wanted to go and get the kit, but this disgusting police officer shot her in her face like crazy. Let me read it to y'all, because this is unacceptable. In Springfield, Illinois, an Illinois deputy fatally shot a woman in her face inside her home after she called 911 to report an intruder, even as she put her arms in the air and said, "I'm sorry," while ducking for cover. Charge documents reveal Sean P. Grayson, who has been terminated. They fired his ass. Like, they fired him, like, for real. They fired him from the Sangamore County Sheriff's Office. Was arraigned before presiding current Judge Ryan in Sangamore County Court Thursday on 3 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts from the July 6th shooting inside the home of Sonia Massey. Grayson pleaded not guilty to all 5 counts. Like, really, dude? Like, you really think that you're gonna get away with it? And not even that, y'all. He didn't even have his body cam on. No. He just went in there and executed this poor lady. He went in there to hurt Sonia. She called for help. And she got this guy that was racist and shot this poor girl in her face. Like, I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine it. Now he want to plead not guilty. So what he basically is saying is he want to go to trial. And to me, that's wrong. Because when you go to a trial, that means you have to tell everything. You know, you have to tell all the details. All the details he have to tell. So he's willing to hurt her family even more than he already did. Like, for real. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker called the shooting heartbreaking. What happened was, the story that he told didn't match up because his partner had his body cam on. So we're going to finish reading. I feel, this Pritzker said, not just for the family of the victims, but also the families of Samoa County, and then all the people of color who have had to endure these kind of circumstances and witness them, because it affects everybody, even if it hasn't happened to you suspiciously. The fatal police assault on Massey, a 36-year-old black woman, had gained national attention and spurred community protests, including one that drew 200 people to the Springfield NAACP. That's how bad it is, y'all. Like, for real. Who applaud, denied of they. He thought he was gonna get bail. They was like, Sean, you're not getting no bail, bro. You're not getting no bail. Today's decision by the judge to hold Deputy Sean Grayson in custody without bail marks another critical step in the pursuit of justice for Sonia Massey. Family that gravity of the charges and the severity of the officer's action, Crump said. Sonia's death has been extremely shocking and devastating for her family and community. We hope that this officer continues to be held accountable for his deadly actions in order to restore trust and rebuild faith within the grieving community. No. That's crazy. Like, you feel somebody's trying to break into your home and you call a cop, and this is what he do to you. They said she had her hands up, and then she was so scared. I just can't even imagine this. Like, it makes me afraid. God forbid if I ever had to call the police. God forbid if I'm cooking, in the kitchen and happen to have a little knife on the counter, and what is he gonna say? I tried to grab the knife. This crazy. Okay, they said court document details moments leading up to the fatal shooting. Grayson, a 30-year-old Riverton, Illinois resident, has been with the sheriff department since May of 2023, before being terminated by Sheriff Jack Campbell on Wednesday. They fired his ass. They wasn't trying to hear none of that. They saw the video. They said they're not going to release the video yet because it's so bad. They said it's so bad it would draw uproar. Like, for real, it's that bad. Campbell said in a statement that Grayson did not act as trained or in accordance with the standard, and his actions do not reflect the value and training of Sangamon County Sheriff Office or law enforcement as a whole. According to the documents, Grayson drew his 9mm handgun and threatened to shoot Massey in her face. What? Wait, hold on. You came to her house to help her. Well, she thought. And you threatened to shoot her in her face. You said you were going to shoot her in her face. Grayson aggressively yelled for her to put down a pot of boiling water. I don't believe him. Because remember, I just told you, he did not have his body cam on. So you know he lying. As Grayson drew closer to Massey, he fired 3 times at about 1:21 a.m., striking her once in her face. Grayson has not activated his body cam. He did not cut his body camera on, y'all. He already came there for an agenda. He came there. He's a racist cop. This guy's going down. Until, they said, listen, he did not activate his body worn camera until then. Through another sheriff deputy who had not been named, he had his activated after arriving at Massey's home. Grayson, the document said, he instructed the other deputy not to retrieve a medical kit from his vehicle because of the severity of Massey's injuries. The other deputy did render aid and stayed with Massey until an ambulance arrived. Massey died of a single gunshot wound, according to Sonoma County coroner. I mean, as his partner, you witnessed this crazy cop shoot this poor girl in her face. And then when you have a heart and do your duty and go and try to retrieve the medical kit to help her, he told you not to. Right there. I know he had to be scared as hell. Like, this, he probably like, yo, dude tripping. Like, I'm scared of him. Like, for real. He had to be scared to death. Like, for real. He had to be scared. He seriously had to be scared. I'm going to show you a video of this here too, but let me finish reading it to you. She's a pretty girl, y'all. She's a pretty girl. This is her. This is one of the pictures of her. That's her. That's her mom, and that's her in the. That's her, if y'all can see, in the sketch right here. But I'm going to show you more pictures of her. This is so sad. They said state police probe conclude deputy not justified. He was not justified in use of force. Campbell said the investigation was turned over to Illinois State Police after he was notified on July 6th. An expert in the field of use of force reviewed the body cam footage as part of the state police investigation and concluded that Grayson was not justified in the use of deadly force on Massey. The expert likened the severity to an officer intentionally and unnecessarily putting himself in front of a moving vehicle and then justify use of force because of fear of being struck. The body cam footage is set to be released to the public Monday. I didn't see the footage yet. So what they talking about? Okay, they said judge denied request for bail. Defense attorney Dan requests Grayson released from being detained, telling the court he wasn't a threat to flee and had remained at home since the shooting. Grayson, who had worked for several other law enforcement. Y'all, come on now. He worked for mad other police departments. You know why? They kept firing his ass. They kept firing him and they kept hiring him in different areas. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They said he was in several law enforcement agencies in the area. was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in October. Grayson had a medical incident overnight with his colonoscopy bag. Another reason he asked that Grayson be released. He's not being released. He's not. So now, what he got stage 3 colon cancer. What is this? Okay, so is he angry? She didn't give you cancer. Grayson, during and after the shooting, including not rendering help to Massey, was one of the reasons he ordered Grayson to continue to be detained pre-trial. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. They don't give a damn about none of that. Denying his petition. In accordance with the Pre-Trial Fairness Act, a large contingency of Massey's family attend the hearing, and several people in the courtroom applaud. Excuse me, y'all. Cardigan decision. Several members of the Springfield NAACP, the Faith Coalition for the Common Good, and Black Lives Matter Springfield were almost in attendance. A dozen ununiformed personnel was in the courtroom with several more deputies in the hallway. Grayson's next hearing is scheduled for August 26th. It's coming up. Okay, we ain't finished yet, y'all. In 2023 was the deadliest year year for police killing. Let me make sure that's how they do it. They said it was the deadliest year for the police shooting. Thursday murder arraignment is the latest development in the police-involved killing to sweep the nation. Civil rights activists sound the alarm on the rise of such incidents. A mapping police violence report released early this year found that 2023 was the deadliest year for police shootings in the USA. Police killed more than 1,300 people. Damn! In 2023, a year that saw several high-profile cases, including the fatal beating of Ty Nichols. Nichols. You remember that one? You remember Ty, where they ambushed him, and he was like 2 blocks away from his mama. In Memphis, Tennessee, the shooting of an environmental activist who was protesting the construction of a police and fire training center near Atlanta, and the death of the Virginia man who was smothered in a hospital. There were only 14 days within police killing last year, and on average, law enforcement officers kill someone every 6.6 hours, according to the report, which is preliminary based on news reports and including data from the state and the local government agencies. The numbers of such killing has risen since Campaign Zero, which runs the Mapping Police Violent program, began tracking the data in 2013. But y'all, I want y'all to see the video because it is really sad. And she, like I said, she's a beautiful girl. I'm gonna show you a picture of her, but you're gonna see it, and you're gonna see her picture in excuse me, in the video. But I'm gonna show you a picture of her because she's a beautiful girl, and I'm so saddened that this happened to her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? She's a beautiful girl. This is her right here. I'm gonna try to bring it up fast. This is her. That's her. This is her. This is so heartbreaking. This is very scary. I'm serious. I am so serious. They was protesting. But I'm gonna show y'all the video now. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Hit that like button and subscribe and watch the video. And I hope y'all enjoy your day. All right, peace.
Not guilty to murder charges. Thank you for joining us. I'm Eliza Petrie. Sean Grayson appeared before a judge for the first time since being arrested yesterday. He was also ordered to stay in custody in a local county jail. We have been following this story for you from the beginning. This evening, we are bringing you team coverage as we continue to learn more about what led to the death of Sonya Massey. We start with Fox Illinois' Julia Rosier, who was in the courtroom this afternoon. Julia?
Eliza, that's right. Sean Grayson made his first appearance in the courtroom today in person. Cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom, but the courtroom was crowded with Sonya Massey's family and friends. Today's hearing was to decide whether or not Grayson will stay behind bars while awaiting his trial. The prosecution argued that Grayson is a risk to the community and no combination of conditions would limit that threat. But the defense had three separate arguments: ties to the community, as he worked for several different law enforcement agencies throughout central Illinois. He's not a flight risk because he hasn't tried to run since the incident, and his medical history. He was diagnosed with colon cancer and has an ostomy bag. Family and friends of Sonya Massey were in the courtroom today. They even at times got very emotional. When the judge announced his decision that Grayson would stay behind bars, people began to cheer, and the judge quickly told them to be quiet. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Julia Rosier. Back to you.
Thank you, Julia. Grayson will be back in court on August 26th, and the body camera video from that night of the shooting will be publicly released on Monday. Be sure to stay with Fox Illinois on air and online for the latest on this story. And attorney for Sonya Massey's family releasing a statement applauding the judge for keeping Grayson in custody. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump saying in part, quote, "Today's decision by the judge to hold Deputy Sean Grayson in custody without bail marks another crucial step in the pursuit of justice for Sonya Massey's family, emphasizing the gravity of the charges and the severity of the officer's actions," end quote. And since her death, Sonya Massey's family has seen support from both the community and Illinois officials. Governor J.B. Pritzker called the shooting a tragedy during a press conference today.
I feel for not just the families and the family of the victim, but also the families of Sangamon County, and then all people of color who have had to endure these kinds of circumstances and to witness them, because it affects everyone, even if it's never happened to you specifically.
In the hours since former Deputy Sean Grayson was indicted on multiple charges, including murder, we have learned more about what led up to the shots being fired in Sonya Massey's home. We continue our team coverage with Fox Illinois' Carson Gordy with what he has found out today. Carson?
The document details the events caught in the morning of July 6th at Sonya Massey's home. Grayson and another deputy arrived at Massey's home after she called 911 about a prowler. During the incident, Grayson allowed Massey to remove a pot of hot water off the stove. Then Grayson pulled out his service weapon and aimed at Massey. Massey put her hands in the air, said "I'm sorry," and ducked behind the counter. Grayson then got closer to her, continued to yell to put the pot down, and fired 3 shots at her, striking her in the face once. The report added that Grayson's body camera was not activated during the incident. He turned it on after the shooting. The footage was gathered from the other Sangamon County deputy who responded to the call. I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. It was also noted in the charging documents Grayson made no attempt to help Massey after he shot her. The other deputy, whose name has not been released, did render aid to her. And tomorrow, the funeral for Sonia Massey will be held. It will be at Ruby Funeral Home. Visitation will begin at 9 a.m., followed by the service beginning at 10. And Fox Illinois will continue to follow this story and ongoing criminal cases. You can find the latest updates both on air and our website, foxillinois.com, and also our social media pages. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Eliza Petrie. We are continuing our coverage into the investigation following the death of Sonia Massey. The former deputy being charged in her death has pleaded not guilty. Sean Grayson entering his plea in court today. He's facing 3 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. And Sean Grayson will be held in jail until his trial after Sangamon County prosecutors argued he's at risk to the community. Fox Illinois' Carson Gordy joins us now with an update. Carson.
In a standing room only courtroom, prosecutors argued why former Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson was unjustified in shooting and killing Sonia Massey. Tonight we have obtained 911 calls from the night Massey was shot and killed.
Nathan Star 2868 Hoover, 2868 Hoover. Units on scene are 1078, shots fired.
Earlier that morning, Sean Grayson and an unnamed Sangamon County deputy responded to a 911 call from Sonia Massey, who called the police after concerns of a prowler. The deputies entered the home. The charging documents say Grayson made a comment about a pot on the stove. Massey set the pot of water down on the counter. Documents say that despite distance and relative cover, Grayson pulled his handgun and threatened to shoot Massey in the face. She then put her hands in the air and said, "I'm sorry," while ducking for cover behind a counter. Grayson got closer and continued to yell at Massey to put the pot down. He then fired 3 shots, striking her once in the face.
2868 Hoover Street, county's out requesting EMS. There's shots fired, sitting at a female shot in the head.
In court Thursday, a judge denied Grayson pretrial release after arguments that he's a danger to the community. Some people in the room erupted in applause. An Illinois State Police investigation says Grayson was not justified to use deadly force. Sangamon County prosecutors say Grayson instructed the other deputy to not provide medical aid to Massey. Grayson's lawyer argued that he is not a flight risk and that complications from colon cancer puts his safety at risk while in jail. He faces 5 criminal counts, including 3 counts of first-degree murder. He faces life in prison if convicted. The body camera footage is expected to be released during Monday morning. Grayson's body camera was not on during the shooting. It was turned on after. Footage was caught on the other deputy's camera. I'm Carson Gordy. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. Grayson is expected to be back in court on August 26th. And audio from the Sangamon County Dispatch states a contradiction from Sonia Massey's official cause of death. A criminal investigation states Massey was shot in the face by Sean Grayson. Here is audio after the shooting.
Just confirm self-inflicted. 2 on off. Happy County's update. I didn't. Self-inflicted. Okay, thank you.
We asked Sangamon County if they knew who contacted dispatch and told them the gunshots were self-inflicted. An official tells Fox Illinois he was not aware of the audio or who would have made that claim. And civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is representing Massey's family, will be at the funeral tomorrow. He released a statement today saying in part, quote, "Today's decision by the judge to hold Deputy Sean Grayson in custody without bail marks another crucial step in the pursuit of justice for Sonia Massey's family, emphasizing the gravity of the charges and the severity of the officer's actions," end quote. And tomorrow, the funeral for Sonia Massey will be held. It will be at Ruby Funeral Home. Visitation will begin at 9:30, followed by the service beginning at 10. And we're also learning new details about Sonia Massey. She was born in 1988 in San Diego, California. She attended church at 2nd Timothy Baptist Church. According to her obituary, she was a devoted mother. She loved to do hair and spend time with her family. She retired at J&J Gaming. And Governor Pritzker also responding to Sonia Massey's death.
First of all, this is a devastating occurrence and tragedy. And I mean this when I became aware of it and the circumstances of it. We've seen too much of this, where an innocent person, unarmed, who actually called for assistance, was the target and the victim of a shooting by a police officer.
Pritzker goes on to say this incident does not reflect on all police officers. And the city of Springfield is issuing a notice to the community due to the findings of the investigation into Sonya Massey's death. City officials say they want to ensure the Massey family, their supporters, and the community can safely express their pain and responses. They add there will be an increased police presence. And be sure to follow us on our website as well as our social media pages. We will provide you with the latest details as they become available. Welcome back. We're continuing our coverage into the investigation following the death of Sonya Massey. The former deputy being charged in her death has pleaded not guilty. Sean Grayson entering his plea in court today. He's facing 3 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. All of the details in this charging document was taken from the body camera footage from the night of the incident. Grayson arrived on scene with another deputy whose name has not been released. The video is from the other deputy's camera, not Grayson, because his camera was not on. He turned it on after he fired those fatal shots at Sonya Massey. The document says Grayson shot Massey even though she had her hands in the air, apologizing to the deputies. According to an expert in the field of use of force, Grayson was not justified in his use of deadly force. And the body camera video from the night of that shooting will be publicly released on Monday. Be sure to stay with Fox Illinois on air and online for the latest on the story. And we now Grayson's work history. Since beginning his law enforcement career in 2020, he has worked at 6 different departments. He started out with Pawnee Police, then moved to Kincaid, followed by Verdon and Auburn Police Departments. He started working at Logan County Sheriff's Department in May of 2022. He was hired by Sangamon County 1 year later. And the governor responding to Sonya Massey's death during an event today.
But the tragedy of this is heartbreaking. And I feel for not just the families and the family of the victim, but also the families of Sangamon County, and then all people of color who have had to endure these kinds of circumstances and to witness them, because it affects everyone.
He also says that he believes that the state's attorney in Sangamon County acted appropriately. And Illinois Senator Dick Durbin releasing a statement on Sonya Massey's death, saying in part, quote, "Our law enforcement officers are called on to protect and serve their communities with honor and courage. But any who fail to follow the high standards they have sworn to uphold must be held accountable." The Illinois State Police conducted a thorough investigation of Sonya's tragic death, and the Sangamon County State's attorney brought the necessary changes in a timely way, end quote. And tomorrow, the funeral for Sonya Massey will be held. It will be at Ruby Funeral Home. Visitation will begin at 9 a.m., followed by the service beginning at 10. And be sure to follow us